Good morning, folks. Hope you're having a fantastic Wednesday. This is Pastor Mike Reese from First Baptist Church in Bay City, Michigan. Got a verse for you today, and that is 2 Timothy 1:7. The Bible says, "For God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." It's interesting that each one of those things that God gives us are the exact opposite of fear. In place of fear, God gives us power. It's interesting that fear cripples us, it immobilizes us, it's disabling. And yet, God gives us the exact opposite, so that He gives us His enormous, incredible, explosive power. That word power comes from the Greek word dunamis, from which we get the English dynamite. It's overwhelming, explosive power for living the Christian life. And instead of being crippled by fear, God gives us His divine enabling to make right decisions, to reach out to the lost, to live for Him each day. Not only does He give us power, He also replaces our fear with love. The Bible says perfect love casteth out fear, or drives out fear. You see, the opposite of fear is love. Fear is self-centered. It focuses on my goals, on my dreams, and the loss of those, and what might happen to me and my family. Love looks on the needs and the hurts and the desires of others. Love focuses on reaching out to others and putting others' needs before my own. Love replaces our fear. And then finally, God says, not only does He give us power and love, He gives us a sound mind, or disciplined thinking. It's interesting that fear causes us to act irrationally. The fear itself is often by far worse than the thing that is feared. If you stop and think about it, most of the times the things that we worry about never actually happen. And when they do, they're never as bad as what we assume they're going to be. And what we find out is that fear causes us to think irrationally, which then causes us to act irrationally. And in place of irrational thinking, God gives us disciplined thinking, right thinking, biblical thinking. It's during times of difficulty, it's during uncertain times that we need to make sure we're being biblical in our thinking. We're thinking the way that we need to think, that God would have us think, so we can be biblical in our actions as well. So in place of fear, God gives us power for living the Christian life. He gives us love to reach out to those in need, and He gives us disciplined thinking. And when you put all three of those together, what you see is dynamic Christian living the way that God intended it to be. And God is glorified in each one of our lives as we live for Him and then others before we think of ourselves. May God be glorified as we live in the power of the Spirit, as we reach out in love to others, and as we stay disciplined and biblical in our thinking. God bless you, and we'll see you next time.